All right, and we're now recording. Okay, so this week in math, we're somebody's volume is a little bit too loud and it's picking up on my end. Turn down just a teeny bit. That's all right. Okay. All right. So we're going to focus this week on something called volume. And you're probably thinking like volume, like the radio volume. Not necessarily. Think more of liquids in a container, like in a glass or in a bottle or in a measuring cup and other things like that. And if you have so much of this liquid in one container, it can equal up to 1 liter. So let's take a look here at my board. The word liter. Can y'all see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Okay, do y'all want to try spelling it? L I T E R S, if we're talking about more than 1 liter. Okay, so liters, or just liter if it's just 1 liter. But a liter, the symbol for it is just a capital L. It's just a capital L. So let's look right here, right below. We have 1 liter. To write it in the short version, you would put 1 L. Is it a capital L or a lowercase L?
Capital.
Capital L. Brooklyn and Camden, can y'all hear me all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Don't be afraid to answer, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So what if we have here 2 liters? What if we have 2 liters? What would be the short way of writing it? 2 L, but is it lowercase or capital L?
Capital.
Capital L. Okay. Now let's see how well y'all been paying attention. Let's see, say if we have here 3 liters. What would be the short way of writing it?
3 capital L.
3 capital L. Very good. This means what?
3
capital L.
Yes, but what does it mean when you look at it? It means
3 liters.
3 liters. Very good. Okay, so let's dive into our practice sheets. Now, we're not going to be able to do all the sheets together because that would mean we'd be here for a while. So we're just going to go through the first few sheets and then the rest is going to be on your own, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so let's go ahead and look at our first page where it says at the top, Chapter 9, Volume, okay? Go ahead and put your name and date if you have not already done that. Go ahead and put your name and date. And it looks like Emery is joining us. Good morning, Emery. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we are just beginning with our practice sheet. So go ahead and flip over to where it says Chapter 9 Volume at the top, okay?
Miss David,
Yes, Camden?
what is the day today?
Today is May 11th, so 5-11-2020.
Okay.
Okay. Emery, do you have your practice sheets and a pencil with you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, go ahead and put your name and date at the top of that Chapter 9 volume sheet, okay? All right. So, we're looking here at our paper. It says Practice 1, Getting to Know Volume. So first, we're just going to get to know volume a little bit, okay? So can you read the directions for me right below Brooklyn?
Fill in the blanks with more or less or same.
Good. Fill in the blanks with more, less, or same. It looks like Antonio is joining us. Good morning, Antonio. Can you hear me?
Okay.
All right. Do you want to put your video on so we can see you as well?
Okay.
Okay. And Antonio, do you have the Chapter 9 math sheets in front of you?
This.
Honey, I can't see you, so I don't know what you're holding up. You need to put your video on so I can see.
This.
Yes, but go to Chapter 9. You got to flip through the pages to find Chapter 9 volume. Okay, let's give a minute for our classmates to get situated. Okay. Antonio, honey, we're kind of waiting on you.
Is it this page?
I can't see. Yes, that is it. That's exactly it. Okay, so practice 1, getting to know volume. The directions say fill in the blanks with more, less, or same. So let's take a look at number 1. We have a picture of 2 containers. We have container A and container B. So let me draw here on my board those containers. All right, so we have here A and B. I know it's not the prettiest drawing, but you get the picture. So, so right below it says container A and B are the same size. The sizes of the containers, the glasses itself, do they look the same, the containers?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, the containers are the same. Just like if I were to hold up these 2 glasses, they are the same size. So let's look at letter A right below. It says A. Container B has blank water than container A. So does container B have more water than container A, less water than container A, or the same amount as container A?
More.
More. Container B has more water than container A. So on your line, be sure to write what?
More.
More. All right, looks like Zevin has joined us. Good morning, Zevin. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, do you want to put your video on so we can see you?
I'm getting it set up.
Okay. All right. Well, Zevin, while you're getting set up, we have begun in our math sheets where it says Chapter 9 volume at the top. Do you already have that with you?
Good.
Okay. All right, so for letter B, Zevin, for letter A, we said container B has more water than container A under number 1. And now we're looking at letter B. Letter B says container A has blank water than container B. So does container A have more water than container B? Does it have less water, or does it have the same amount of water?
Less water.
Less water. Good. So put less on that
Less water.
blank. All right. Now let's look down over at number 2. We're looking at 3 different containers now. We have container A, container B, and container C. All right, so who would like to read that sentence that's right below that picture of containers A, B, and C? Mackenzie, go ahead and read it.
Container A, container B, and container C are the same size.
Good. Container A, container B, and container C are the same size. The glasses, those containers themselves, are the same size all throughout. Now let's pay attention to the amount of volume, the amount of liquid that's inside each of those containers. So for letter A, we have here, container A has blank water than container B. Does A have less, more, or the same amount of water than container B?
Less.
Less. So on your line, put less. Okay, let's look at letter B. It says here, container B has blank water than container A. Does B have more water, less water, or the same amount of water as container A?
More.
More. Very good. Put more on the line. Okay. So now, last one for that page, letter C. It says here, container A has the blank amount of water as container C. So look at containers A and C. Do you think they have, do you think container A has more water than container C, less water, or the same amount of water?
The same amount.
Same amount. So on your line, write same. Y'all are so good at this. Y'all are so smart. Okay, once you have that, flip over to where it says page 218 at the bottom. You should see 218 at the bottom. $218. Okay, so the directions say what, Emery, at the top? What do they say?
Fill in the blank.
Fill in the blanks. Very good. So we have here number 3. Wow, we have now 4 different containers. Let me draw that out on my whiteboard. 4 different containers. Are those containers all the exact same size?
No.
No? The containers? Remember, the container is whatever the liquid is inside of. Your glass, your bottle, your bucket, your cup. Those are all containers. Are they all the same size?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, they are the same size. Now, what about the liquids inside of each of those containers? Are they the same amount?
No.
No, they are not the same amount. So I have here, let me color it in. So I have here 4 containers, just like how you have on your paper in front of you.
Yes.
Okay, so the sentence right below says what, Antonio? Right below the picture?
Container blank has the greatest amount of water.
That's not the sentence I'm looking at. The sentence I'm looking at, honey, says the containers are the same size, like how we just covered. But you did read out letter A for us. So Antonio says container blank has the greatest amount of water. Which container has the greatest amount of water, the most amount of water?
Container B.
Container B. So on your line, just put B. That has the most amount of water. Let's look at letter B now. It says container blank has the least amount of water. Which one has the least amount of water?
The C. D.
D, container D has the least amount. So on your line, you should put D.
What's wrong with it?
Okay, so let's look at number 4 now. Once again, we have 4 different containers, but pay close attention. Are those containers all the same size?
No, ma'am.
No. Why do you say no? Who would like to answer? Camden, why do you say no? They are not the same size containers.
A is wide.
Okay. Yeah, A is a little bit wide, but is it wider than container D?
No.
No, container D looks like it is the widest. Which container looks the most skinny, the most narrow?
C.
C. C looks like it is the most narrow. Okay, so let's look here at letter A. It says container blank has the greatest amount of water. If I were to take all the water that I have in front of me and put it in this bucket, this bowl, would this bowl have a greater amount of water than this?
Yes.
Yes. So which container has the greatest amount of water? Camden?
D.
D. Very good. D.
I think she was like trying. Oh, she didn't even. I didn't say anything.
All right. Now let's look at letter B. It says container blank has the least amount of water. So let's pay attention to which container is our smallest or thinnest. Which one is like our thinnest? Camden? C. But does it look like the volume is the same as the other containers in letter C?
No.
No, because all the lines are going straight across. Yeah, it looks like they have the same amount, but does letter C have the same amount if you were to pour it out into a bowl or a measuring cup?
No.
No. So which container has the least amount?
E.
C. It's going to hold the least amount of water inside. Excuse me. Let's look at number 5. Now we have 3 different containers. We have container A. Let me draw this out. A. Oops. Made it wonky. A. And then we've got B and C. Okay. So I know it's not the prettiest drawing, but I did my best. So, does it look like there's the same amount of volume in each of these containers?
No.
No.
Come here, please.
It doesn't look like it. All the lines are going straight across. The amount of water.
Thank you.
It looks like they have the same amount of water, but do they have the same amount of water?
No.
No, okay. So let's look here at letter A. Container blank has the greatest amount of water. Which container do you think would be able to hold the most amount of water?
B. Container B.
B. Why do you say B?
Cause you would go in the bowl. You
Can you say that one more time, Camden? I couldn't hear you.
it for it is larger.
Because it is larger. That square container is going to hold more than the round, the cylindrical containers. So which container has the greatest amount of water?
B.
B. Container B. So now let's take a look at letter B. Container blank has the least amount of water. Think back to those narrow containers. Brooklyn, which one has the least amount of water?
C.
C. Good. So on your line, be sure to put C, container C. Okay, once you have that, flip over to page 219.
David,
Who just called me? Yes, Antonio?
what's for number 3 and 4?
Remember, for number 3, we said container B has the greatest amount and container D has the least amount. And then remember, for number 4, we said container D has the greatest amount and container C has the least amount. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So we're looking up at the top where it says practice 2, getting to know volume. All right, so the directions say fill in the blanks. Who would like to read the sentence underneath the directions? Zevin, go ahead.
Water
is scooped out of the puddle and poured into these containers. Each spoon is 1 scoop.
Okay, so water is scooped out of a pail and poured into these containers. Each, that picture is actually called a ladle. It's a long spoon typically used for soup buckets or chili buckets, but each ladle is 1 scoop. So this should look kind of familiar to like our pictographs that we did earlier this year. Y'all remember pictographs?
Mm-hmm.
Only one person remembers pictographs?
No.
Emery remembers? Antonio doesn't remember pictographs. All right, well, hopefully you remember. Okay, so we're looking at our pictures. We're looking right here in the box. And we have container S, container T, container U, and container V. So let's see here. For number 1, container blank has the greatest amount of water. Take a look at your little graph. Which container has the most amount of ladles, the most amount of water? Camden? S. It has the most amount. You can see that just by looking. So container S has the greatest amount of water. All right, number 2, we have here container blank has the least amount. Just by looking at your graph, which one has the least amount? Antonio? Antonio? Which container has the least amount of water?
The pail.
Let's help him out. Brooklyn?
T.
T. Good. Container T has the least amount. Okay, let's take a look at number 3 here. Containers blank and blank have the same amount. Which containers have the same amount, Camden? Say that one more time. Hold on a second, honey. I've got a lot of background noise. There we go. Can you say it one more time for me? S and V? Let's count how many ladles S has. So count how many. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for S. Let's count how many we have for V. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Does that make sense? Are they the same amount?
No.
No. So let's try again. Which 2 have the same amount? Brooklyn?
U and V.
U and V. Very good. So put U on one line and V on the other. Let's take a look at number 4. It says here, container blank has more water than container U. Which container has more water than U? Emery? Emery?
V.
V has more than container U?
S.
S. There we go. U and V have the same amount, but container S has more than container U. Antonio, do you have a question?
I forgot what was 6 and 8.
We'll come back to that later, honey. We haven't got anywhere near number 6 or 8 yet. We're currently on number, we're now on number 5. Devin, are you still there? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So let's look at number 5. It says here, container V has more water than container blank. Which container does V have more than another? Camden?
T.
T, good. Container V has more than container T. Okay. So we're going to do one more page now because our time is starting to wrap up a little bit. Camden, you still there? He'll be back in a moment. So let's flip over to page 220. 220. Page 220. All right. What do those directions say, Zevin?
On the page.
Page 220.
All the water in each container. Is there a paper clip on my page?
Page 220. What are the directions, please?
All the water in each container is used to fill the glass.
Okay, the directions say fill in the blanks, and right below it says all the water in each container is used to fill the glasses. So we have here a picture of a pail, or also known as a bucket. We have a pitcher, which I have a small pitcher right here, like a little measuring cup, filled with water. And we have a fish tank filled with water. So let's see here, number 6. It says, which container has the most amount of water? Take the time to count how many has the most amount of water. Camden?
Fish tank.
The fish tank. Good. So on that line, write fish tank. It's okay if you don't have enough space to write both words. Just try to make it fit as best as you can. Fish tank.
Or you can just put tank.
I would prefer you to put down fish tank.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's look over at number 7 now. Which container has the least amount of water? Antonia, which one has the least amount of water?
The pail.
Let's take another look at that. Camden, help him out.
The picture.
The pitcher. If you're not sure how to spell it, it's right there in front of you. The pitcher.
You said the
Pitcher. It's right there. The word is right there in that little box. Pitcher. Okay. And our last one for today's meeting, number 8. Which container has a lesser volume of water? The pail or the pitcher? Which one has the lesser volume of water? The pail or the pitcher? Camden's answering all of these. Somebody new, please. Emery, do you know? or Brooklyn?
Oh.
Brooklyn, what is it?
The picture.
The picture. Good, thank you.
Wait, that's
Okay. So that is all our time for today. Please remember to complete the rest of the Chapter 9 practice sheets. All right. Does anybody have any questions before we go, Brooklyn?
We just supposed to finish the whole SAT prep book.
SAT prep book. Are you talking about the red workbook with the pencil on it?
SAT prep.
Hold on a second, honey. There's a lot of background noise. Say that one more time, dear.
The SAT prep book.
I'm not sure what you're referring to. What subject is it? Math?
It's math and language arts.
Oh, that one. We're done with that. I mean, you can finish that workbook if you would like to, but I'm not taking it for a grade anymore because we've already finished what we needed out of that, okay?
Oh, okay.
All right. Zevin, what's your question?
What are we
Bye,
doing
Miss
to?
David.
Bye, Brooklyn. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we are doing the reading, vocabulary, and the passage, okay?
Miss David,
Yes, Emery?
what book were you talking about that you wasn't going to grade it for because we were done with it?
Oh, the Morning Starters workbook. Remember, it's purple on the cover?
What?
Well, some were purple, others were green or blue, but it has math and language arts inside of it.
Oh, Mama, she was talking about our Morning Star.
Yeah.
The red book.
The red book has already been turned in a long time ago. And I already got yours from that Zevin. All right, Camden, do you have a question?
Yes.
What's up?
Did I do good